What? Chidi,
I knew.
I knew it. So it's because of this Mbeke that you refuse to pick my call. Eh, Chidi? Chidi, no. This is what you call busy. Standing head to head, shoulder to shoulder in your office. Eh? Chidi, no, stand right there. Where do you think you're going?
Ada?
Husband snatcher.
What's the meaning of all this?
In my office? For God's sake.
This is my boss, Mrs. Ajibe.
Ah!
I'm finished.
I'm sorry. Good afternoon, Mama.
Hello and welcome to the program Hot Button. It is a delight to have you join us today. Relationships are hard. Fights are normal and rough patches are parts for the course. These are so true, but the excess of all of these should call for concern. My name is Johnny and I have with me in the studio. And
Deborah Ogunaiki.
all right guys, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
You already know what we're here to talk about. Today we want to look at enduring a toxic relationship. We all know what toxic relationship is. Tell us about it. Let's know what toxic relationship means to you.
Well, to me, toxic relationship is like when your partner has behaviors of insecurity, self-centeredness, jealousy. Those are signs of a person that is toxic. So definitely, if somebody has that behavior, person will obviously make a toxic relationship.
Okay, let's hear from you, Deborah.
My own understanding of a toxic relationship is when your partner is not in support of you aiming higher. Let's say, for example, I as a person is doing better than my husband is. It's not like I don't want him to do better or I'm shaming him in some sort of way. No. It's just that I am doing better and then he is not happy with my success. So I feel like if your partner is not happy with your success or how you're progressing, that is automatically a toxic relationship for me. Yes.
So a toxic relationship to you is when a partner is not doing the right things in the relationship and the person is mostly focusing on the negative side of things like jealousy, self-centeredness, insecurity.
The person doesn't see the good in you. Always looks at, oh, she's with this person. Who is this person? Like he even goes to the extent of not making you relate to your friends,
the way you are supposed to.
Family, makes you lose relationship with those that you even met even before the relationship you're in.
Wow. So does that, cover all the things you're talking about?
No, it doesn't cover up for everything that has to do with a toxic relationship. Well, I must say that these are the few examples or the few signs that you can see when you are in a toxic relationship.
Okay, so what makes a relationship toxic?
When your partner doesn't see your own side of, or doesn't listen to your own opinion, this can actually depict a toxic relationship because you both are trying to understand each other, but he's being all self-centered. So that can actually depict a toxic relationship.
Okay, let me hear from you.
Like she said, the character of your partner, of your spouse in the relationship really matters a lot. So when your partner has a very bad character, always shouting, even you yourself you try to pick your words, which is not meant to be. In a relationship, you're meant to have conversations continuously. You're meant to be free with your partner, but you find yourself picking your words, not being free with your partner. That's it. It's a toxic relationship on its own.
So once you become apprehensive of the fact that let me watch what I say, let me watch what I do around the person,
which is not meant to be.
It's not meant to be because you're supposed to be free.
Exactly.
Okay.
Show
if I'm supposed to be
love.
Free in my relationship and then show love, express myself before my partner, and then I'm not finding it easy to do that. It means the relationship is tilting in the direction of a toxic relationship.
Yes.
You wanted to say something?
And sometimes when your partner, because there are some times when he's all sweet and lovey-dovey, you know, everything, how are you doing? And the next moment is like, I beg, free me, why are you calling my number? I'm like, that is a toxic relationship.
Like a mood swing or
Yeah,
something.
that is a very... I know sometimes there are some things and some situations that you're supposed to endure in a relationship. People say that it's not possible for you not to have arguments. But if this happens consistently, then there is a problem and you need to fix it.
It calls for concern.
Yes.
Okay. You know, these things don't just happen. They must have, you know, there must be something that makes this thing, you know, to just come up.
True.
So what are the things that could actually stir up toxic relationship?
Experience. It all comes from experience.
Okay.
Someone who is coming from a background where everybody in the house, I'm giving an instance.
Okay.
It's a guy who is coming from a house where there are only girls. The parents won't tell the guy, because there are girls in the house, to cook or clean. The guy will come up with the mindset that it's only girls that do it. They are the ones meant to clean. They should cook. So when he enters a relationship with a girl, and the girl doesn't have that mindset that I also have brothers that cook.
Okay.
I have sisters that cook. They clean. So why shouldn't you do it?
And then he begins to insist consistently.
It's to spoil the relationship.
Wow, that's so upbringing and experience from home could actually stir up a toxic relationship. All right, let me hear from you, Deborah.
Your background can actually stir up a toxic relationship. If you're this type of person that believes everybody is going to end up leaving you, you understand? Like, what do they have to offer? They are still going to end up leaving.
A sense of lonesomeness.
Yes. A sense of, should I say, I don't know how to, I don't think it's rejection, but like, I feel like abandonment. Like, they are going to abandon you. You will always be like, oh, what is she doing? What is she doing? You always want to make sure that, oh, she's not about to do something that will make her to abandon you. Or maybe you start to, I don't know, feel insecure. Is she going to cheat on me? Is she going to leave me? Even when you already feel like, oh, this person might leave me, you start to already portray it in yourself, in your attitude. And that is going to choke up the other person. And she won't, or he wouldn't want to live like that.
Okay. So things like that could actually, you know, stir up toxic relationship. The fact that you're feeling like, this person might leave me. There's a word that I'm not finding.
That's lack of trust.
Yeah.
Yes. Lack of trust. You're not trusting your partner. You are meant to trust your partner in your relationship. If you don't trust your partner, then like I've always heard it's everywhere. Trust is the number one thing in a relationship. And if your relationship doesn't have trust, then I mean the whole foundation is gone. There's no foundation there. You have to trust your partner. Even though you know your partner has gone to a nightclub or is with her friends, or you need to trust her, because you know that even though you see somebody else, I know you can't do that to me. Exactly.
Okay. And then we could also take a look from the person's past relationship. What did the person experience in the past relationship that could make you, probably the person was heartbroken, and then it just ruined everything, trust in the person's life, and then the next person that comes in begins to reap from what the person did not even sow. And then because you're trying to be protective of your heart, you begin to use the measures you used in the last relationship to now, and that could actually affect the present relationship. Wow, wow, wow. Well, you've been watching Hot Button, and we hope you're learning something right now. We're talking about toxic relationship, the things that stir it up. What are the things that people do that appear toxic that could actually affect your relationship? So, as you join us today, we hope that you stay glued to this TV today, so you could learn as much points as we'll be bringing out, and to assist in your relationship, so you can avoid and know how to handle the issues of toxicity in your relationship. Now, are there little signs that are likely to grow into a full-blown toxic relationship? Like little signs that people might not even pay attention to, that you might just ignore.
Yes, like there's this saying, it says little things matter. So even from just little behaviors, when you find your spouse, say, talking to someone on the phone, and or when your spouse finds you talking to someone on the phone and just, hi, who is this? Who are you talking to? You find it as, okay, he's just asking a question.
Okay.
When it starts to build up, from there your spouse can start beating you because you're talking to a boy on the phone.
Okay.
It turns out that it hasn't only turned to a toxic relationship, that's turned to abusive relationship. Yes. So those little things really matter.
Okay, you have something you want to add, Deborah?
Yes, I do. I strongly believe that, like she said, little things matter. You cannot tell me that you didn't see signs before you knew that you were entering this relationship. It's just that some people choose to ignore them. Honestly, I believe if you are going through my phone without my permission, I believe that you are toxic. Because why are you going through my phone? What are you looking for? Especially when it's not like, oh, you collected my phone, like we're joking, everything, you know. But when I know that you are going, there are some suspicious ways that people will go through your phone and you'll be like, what is it? There are some things that the person will just do that you will just know. And then you'll just be like, I'm confused. But sometimes people are used to, like they say, love is blind. So when you say love is blind and you choose to ignore all of those things, you now later reap the fruit.
The fruit later on.
Exactly.
And it could even be at things as little as, where are you? What are you doing? Who were you talking to?
Jealousy.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Tiny questions like that. And then you want to go to the person's past. You want to know certain things the person has done.
Yes.
You begin to, there are certain kind of questions you ask consistently that show sign of insecurity. You know, like, where were you around 3 when I was calling? Why were you not picking your phone? Why? And then you're like, I'm sleeping. Why would you be sleeping at this time?
Are you lying to me?
I can give an instance.
Okay.
There's somebody I know.
Okay.
She has a boyfriend. He calls continuously, like every hour,
Every night.
like we as our friends, we know he has our numbers, all of us. He calls us, not only her phone.
Wow.
If she doesn't pick, he calls
Very
us,
nice person.
and if we don't pick, he calls another person. It's from the beginning. I mean, they're just dating. They are
Wow.
not even married.
Okay.
They are not even married. So why should you call so much? She's in school. You should try and understand. She needs to focus. They are not the only person in her life. They are not the only one there that she's... I mean, we're students. We don't have so much, like people, adults will say we don't have much. We are not pregnant. We don't have children. But I'm a student and I know how it feels. We have things on our head. It's not only about children or the family you are taking care of. So like he calls like every time and it gets so irritating. And you know that if you continue to ignore that thing, if you enter a marriage with that person, it's not going to end
the person
well
becomes a private investigator behind you. So the moment the person calls her and she doesn't pick, he starts calling the friends.
Yes, even got to an instance, to the extent
yeah.
where she was sleeping. She was sleeping and because she was very tired, she came back from class in the evening and then she's back. You called her, she didn't pick. You called her friends, we picked, but she's sleeping. He said, go and wake her up. You have to wake her up.
I beg your
because
pardon.
probably he felt you guys were covering up for her or something.
We had to do a video call to make you see that she's sleeping. We can't wake her up. She's just come back from class. This is someone that is a very busy person.
Okay.
So if like our friends, like all of us now, I've already told her, I've given her the advice that she should just end it because she herself, she's getting tired. But we're not the ones in the relationship, so we can't even tell if she's just trying to endure it. It's her choice. If she wants to end it, it's her choice. If she doesn't want to, that's her choice. But the least we can do for her is end it.
Advice. Yeah. Okay, so when you see these kind of signs, it's tilting in the direction of a toxic relationship. Like if the person doesn't trust your judgment when you tell the person, I was asleep, I was in class, I was in a meeting, and then the person tries to find, you know, other means to be sure that you were actually where you were. It's
Yes,
actually
it all falls back at trust.
trust.
Yes.
And that is a sign of
And
what toxic relationship.
It's the main thing in a relationship. You need trust.
Trust has to be the bedrock of a relationship.
Yes.
That's true. I believe that. So, Deborah, what do you think?
At first, there is a clear line between when someone is worried and when someone is actually being unnecessarily
Clingy.
stuck on you. I don't
Okay.
know, clinging. There's a possibility that she doesn't pick his calls on a normal day. Maybe that's why he keeps on calling her. What if he's just concerned? What if he's just worried? And yes, maybe he just really, really likes her. And she doesn't pick. What if she doesn't pick his
There's a
calls?
difference between being worried and being clingy.
Okay.
When you're clingy,
Being
you want to be
obnoxiously
yes,
clingy.
yes.
Okay.
You don't have a reason. You just want to be. You just want to hear from this person. There's a difference between being worried. If someone isn't picking your call, you call 10 times and the person isn't picking, you leave. Even once, I've heard it. Once you call somebody 2-3 times, person doesn't. You leave it.
But this is
Until
our
the person- because-
boyfriend. Don't get it twisted.
So let me
This is
get
our
it. Let me
boyfriend.
understand.
But
The
it happens
guy doesn't have
continuously.
her timetable, or does he have? Does he even need to have
don't-
the timetable, or does he
You
know
don't
her
need-
routine?
It
don't
depends. It depends on how strong their relationship is.
Okay.
What if they are really close? I don't mind if my boyfriend knows my timetable. That depends on how strong the relationship is and where we are going to.
I get your point. But this person calls continuously. You do it every day. It's a different thing. Are you worried every day? You're not
That's
worried
the
every day.
point.
You can't be worried every day. I'm safe. I'm in school.
So he doesn't have a particular time that she should expect his call, or he could just call
You
at
can
any
just
time.
can just call in class, and you know they can seize her phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Right.
true. Yeah.
You call
Wow.
in class, and okay, now if they seize my phone, what do you do? What do you want to do? There's nothing you can do. You can't be worried about me every time. I have a life to live.
Definitely. So
And
when
they're
we
not
see
all
signs
about
like
it.
that, those are, you know, signs of a toxic
toxic
relationship.
relationship.
I wanted you to give me another side to it. Certain things that people overlook as toxic relationship. I mean, that could
Lost
actually
relationship.
build up into a toxic relationship.
Like I said before, because this is something I experienced
Okay.
myself. It was not like I was in a relationship with the person, but let me just say we were a thing, kind of. So when I was at home, he used to call me on a regular, call me, ask how I'm doing, everything. He even told me once that he wanted to marry me, wanted me to talk to his brother, everything. And all of a sudden, we got to school. And I'm like, okay, what is going on? If I call him, he's like, I'm busy, please stop talking to me. Okay, wow. And I'm a kind of person that once I see signs like that, I totally turned off. I don't bother calling again. So in a situation like that, when you see that 1 week is a good, sweet guy, another week is a devil in disguise. Please, that is a toxic relationship.
Wow. So if the person begins to swing personality,
Yeah.
it's actually a sign.
green slip
Now,
under green
should
grass.
we endure a toxic relationship?
Why
No.
should we enjoy a toxic relationship?
No, I completely stand against it, except if you don't want to be happy in your life. I completely stand against it. Why should you enjoy a toxic relationship? Don't you love yourself enough to stay away from toxicness? Sometimes things like this will affect your friendship, your family, your job, everything. You will not be happy emotionally, mentally.
Okay.
You might even get to a point where you have to even go through therapy self in order for you to understand. In this life, you need to learn to love yourself before you love somebody
So you're
else.
saying a no for
a
enduring.
no.
What about you? Let me hear from Finyi.
Well, you can't. I won't even say someone should enjoy a toxic relationship. Why should you? Toxicness is killing. It's choking. Yeah. So if you stay in a toxic relationship, you could literally die of it. Yes,
could
it
actually die.
kills. It kills. I'm not going to lie. It kills. It's just like you staying in a toxic relationship, and then from toxic, from it's step
It
by
builds,
step.
Yeah.
toxic to abusive to, I don't know.
It's a very
Person
dangerous
yes.
end, you know. That's
It's
true.
a very,
Obsession.
very...
It could become even
Exactly.
a situation
to become worse.
yes,
Yes.
where spouses are always at each other's neck, and then the other person becomes
and it
murderous.
just starts from little things.
Now, when you see all these little signs, is it time to just back off, or when should a victim or someone who is experiencing toxic relationship become worried? Or
When you
once you
see-
see the first sign, you just back off?
No, like you asked a question before. You said if your spouse should call you, should tell you who are you with on the phone.
Yes.
It's not bad. When my spouse, if somebody should tell me, who am I with on the phone? I'm with somebody. It depends on your tone.
Okay.
And it depends on how many times you are doing it. If it's
Okay.
continuously, you ask me today, every day I'm on the phone, you want to know who I'm talking to. From there, I know that this person, I start to watch you closely. I will start to watch you very closely.
Okay.
And in the process, I'm also guiding myself, because it can move from a toxic relationship to an abusive one.
an
But
abusive
even before it moves from toxic to abusive, you need to back out.
Okay.
Yes.
So
When you see little signs, you
Yeah.
start to back out.
Okay.
Little by
So
little.
do you share in the same thing, or you have to wait for it to be full blown before you say, wow, this is time to leave?
They say three times. When somebody does something 3 times, like your grandmother calls your name 3 times, you know that
There's
something
something
serious
wrong.
there's something
amidst.
serious.
Okay.
Me, I will go through the same old ways our parents used to go through. If you see that something is going on, first time, second time, third time, if a man can raise his voice at you, he's most likely to slap you when you are getting married to that, when you've gotten married to that man. So when you see that this thing has happened the first time, second time, third time, and you're still there, you're playing with fire. Me, I'm going to run away.
Okay, so what you're saying, from what I gather now, you have to give a little room. You watch,
Observe.
the first time you observe, the second time you confirm, and then the third time you run.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Well, I don't think that is a bad way to go. And Deborah, what are the consequences of a toxic relationship if you don't run?
As long as you're ready to be depressed for the rest of your life, you can stay in a toxic relationship.
As long as you're ready to be depressed.
Yes,
because
because
a toxic relationship can actually lead to depression
yes,
on the
it
part of
can.
the person who is being victimized of that
Yes.
toxic relationship.
Yes.
All right, what are the other consequences?
You can, by the time you leave that toxic relationship, I mean, it has already gone overboard. You are living at the wrongest time.
Okay.
Something you should have done
Earlier.
long time
Yeah.
ago. You are just doing it now. It will affect you mentally. You guide yourself. Before you enter the next relationship, it will be very, very tough for
The
you.
feeling of
Because-
paranoid or
Yes,
something. Yeah.
because you start to guard yourself. You be self-centered.
Yeah.
You don't want anybody to hurt you like the
he
other
did.
Wow.
person did.
Or she
So
did.
you want to, and that behavior starts to also hurt other people.
And then you become toxic. So if
A
you,
toxic
if
relationship-
you endure a toxic relationship
You
for
can
so
become
long,
Yes,
it
it
can
produces
make you a
Yes.
toxic
toxic
person.
Yes.
OMG. Yes, that is something to actually watch out for, because if you stay in a relationship that is toxic for so long, you begin to, learn those characters from that person, and then in the next relationship, you can actually become the toxic one.
Yes.
Yes.
That is very true. And then we established that before, like the things that stir up toxic relationship. The experience you've had in the past could also lead to, Now, if someone is toxic in his relationship, is there no way we who have seen that this person is toxic can help the person from coming out of that kind of behavior?
Well,
First off,
there's a thing that it says, there's something that I've always heard. You can't change anybody. If the person decides that I'm going to be, this is my attitude, I can't change.
But
There's
like you
nothing.
say,
what if the
might not
person
even
doesn't know?
Uh-huh.
What
So
if the
is
person
there no
doesn't
redemption
know?
for someone who
There is
who doesn't
redemption.
even know he's toxic?
There's redemption.
He just sees it from the side of his ego and
There's
self.
actually redemption. Like,
Okay.
there's a movie I watched.
Okay.
The guy, he works 24/7.
Okay.
He's a busy guy. And his wife takes care of the children 24/7. 3 children, babies.
Okay.
And when he comes back from work, she's tired. Children are stressful.
Exactly.
So she's obviously tired. He's tired. But he wants her to cook. She had to go to the extent of going to his office to tell the boss,
Wow.
to sack him. To sack him from his job just for him to know how it feels to take care of children. The oga actually accepted it. Just for a few months, he couldn't cope. 2 months, he couldn't cope.
And so he had to learn the lesson the hard
He
way.
had to learn the lesson.
I get your point.
Yes.
He had
So
to learn the lesson the hard
Yeah,
way.
it depends on what situation you're in. Yes.
So you
and-
can make the person step into your
Yes,
situation
make
to
the
also
person be in
understand
your
what you're
shoes.
feeling.
Yes.
Okay, so is there redemption for someone who...
It depends on the situation.
Okay.
If somebody is obsessed with you, this person needs therapy. You can't do the same thing for the
If you're
person.
obsessed, you're a
You can't.
psychopath
I don't know how
then.
to explain it. You cannot teach the person not to be obsessed. You have to take the person for therapy or something. Therapy helps. Honestly, therapy helps. And then there are some people that don't know that they are toxic, and then you can't just walk up to them and tell them that, oh, you are toxic. You sit them down one day. You sit them down, tell them the signs. You be like, oh, Debbie, have you actually been through any of these things before? Do you feel insecure? Do you do this? Do you do that? What's going on? Okay, I'd like to break it down to you that some of these behaviors that you are portraying, they're actually kind of toxic. And
So
I think
there's
you
a
need to
subtle
work
way
on it. Yes.
you can actually talk
I want to-
that
I want to
person
ask
and
a question.
Well,
Yeah.
we are far behind time right now, so we're just going to draw the curtain here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We value the insight we have shared so far with one another. I've learned from you. I'm sure you've learned from me, and then we've learned from you as well. Thank you so much for coming on the program. All right, thank you so much, dear viewer. There you have it. We've shared everything here that happened, most of the things that happen in a toxic relationship. If that brushes on you, then you need to have a rethink. Find help where you can, and by all means, try to put yourself in the other person's position and see the things the person go through so that you can be redeemed out of that spirit of toxicity. It doesn't do any good. It doesn't even make you feel better because it doesn't stop until you stop it. So thank you for being a part of us today. We hope you stay with us same time next week when we come your way. God bless you.